general dev process for working on the FTL balance mod. Iteration, I guess. I mean, the FTL balance mod first existed before Advanced Edition existed. Like, a lot of the changes in the original balance mod got pulled into Advanced Edition. Ha, Corona. But yeah, like it was interesting. It was something that like I had some very, very loose loose inklings of like some FTL rebalance stuff like pretty early on, like after first having played it. And like I just made some little side notes and like kind of had this assumption like, oh well, like some of this stuff is pretty clear and modding's easy enough. Like I'm sure someone else will eventually like balance it. Like I wasn't like super in love with the game. I liked the game at that time, but it felt like it was a little overly luck heavy, so I didn't. I know, right? Crazy thought, but I thought that back in the day. Greetings, Eddie, Raven. So I ended up coming back to the game like a year later or whatever, because I was having like this is part of the streaming origin story too. Wound up in that is that like someone I was talking to on a board games IRC chat room mentioned that they really liked FTL, but they wish it could be played without pausing. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I haven't played FTL in a while. I want to see if we can do this, and that sounds like a fun thing to try. So I tried to play FTL without pausing, and I thought I might as well stream it in case they wanted to see it. And then I streamed a lot of FTL from there. But yeah, a little after that, like once I kind of got back into FTL, it was like, oh, yeah, this is actually, there's a lot more skill here, a lot less luck than I had thought at first. And then eventually went back and looking at the mods, it's like, oh, no one else has worked on balancing the game whatsoever. Alright, I guess I will, like, that's kind of my thing. So I started just kind of gradually working on a balance mod with some of the what seemed like more clear changes at the time, and started like you know, eventually played it some on stream, got a lot of feedback from a lot of really good players here and there, and just kept iterating and iterating over time. So just a whole bunch of like learning the game as best I possibly could myself, watching a lot of other expert players, kind of judging like what sort of decisions they're making and how we can alter those decisions to be more interesting. So, like base game FTL, there's a lot of stuff that you just completely ignore. There's a lot of augments especially, but plenty of other stuff that you just never ever interact with because it's too bad, it's never worth interacting with if you're good enough at the game. So then you just start tweaking stuff from there, like, alright, this augment is bad. Can we fix this? Well, our options for modding augments are pretty limited, so we can reduce its cost. Is it at least kind of okay if we reduce the cost? In many cases, yes. In other cases, it's not. Like hacking stun and advanced FTL navigation were just unfixable, so we just removed those from the game. And you know, lots of little iteration like that over time. But yes, I've got the way I ended up sleeping makes my sleep normal, which means it's broken. That is in fact the case. But I mean, there was a lot of stuff over time here. So like here's the old balance mod. Oh right, I didn't have a full history on that, but like the original FTL balance mod had lots of stuff, and many of this like is no longer applicable or correct or anything. There's plenty of changes here and there, but let's try to think of like a lot of the weapon cost reductions kind of made it into base game stuff, like making the defense drone Mark II only require 3 power instead of 4 made it into the base game. Various little things like that, but yeah, if we want to see, like, if we're talking about iteration, so yeah, that's May 2013 is when I started using a wiki to log the balance mod changes. But it was already up to 0.3 at that point. We'd been doing some modification on just like tracking it on a text file and stuff. But this is still original FTL at this point. But you can see there's plenty of changes already at that point, and plenty of thoughts for other things we might change. And iteration. Lots and lots of iteration. So hundreds of little changes here. So this is still original. So gradually worked on the original through November, so May through November that year, and made a lot of changes in a short time. And then there's a pretty big gap after Advanced Edition was released before I did the balance mod, because I wanted to feel out how Advanced Edition felt before just like rushing to get a mod out there or whatever. So I felt out Advanced Edition for quite a while, and kind of felt how the new changes, all the new systems, the new like hard difficulty, all of that sort of stuff came into play. And even then, like once I've even finally started working, I'm like, yeah, no, this is not fully tested and stuff like that. But lots of still lots of changes at that point, and things, you know, have gradually shifted in various ways here and there over time. But you can, well, no, you can't see the scroll bar size because I have that cropped out, but that's the full page at that point, at the first Advanced Edition version. And here's the full scroll for the current version. There's a lot, you see. So lots of things added up over time. But yeah, like it's something that has to be kind of taken as a whole, because like some individual changes don't necessarily make sense or do much on their own, but they kind of add together in various ways to make a cohesive, improved experience, is pretty much the overarching idea. And that ranges from just like making weak weapons more versatile, more actually usable, making the strongest weapons less versatile, making the strongest systems less versatile, adding actual unique use cases for some of these augments, like the FTL recharge booster is actually pretty cool now. All sorts of little things like that, making a crew a little bit more worth buying, but that's handled in a lot of different directions at once. Like, it's reasonably less common to find free crew, and some of the special events that let you buy crew are cheaper, and the base crew costs are cheaper on a few of them, and you just like add all of that together to like make that a decision you actually want to make on hard difficulty sometimes instead of almost never. I've definitely backpedaled some changes. It was never really anything too drastic, but yeah, there were changes here and there that have been backpedaled over time. There's I think I had hull repair drone at 110 at one point, and then pulled that back down a little bit. Trying to think. Yeah, pretty much, Raven. Watcher came and ruined everything. You can't even shift gears in this bike game. There's no gears. You can't really backpedal either. But, or wheelie, for that matter. Oh, God. There's things I've done slightly differently, like in the original FTL balance mod. This went to, I'm still like continuing answering this question, even though it was only asked because of puns. This was at 11 seconds for the heavy ion and the original FTL balance mod, but I decided to go a different route and make it ion stutter, but have it at 12. And 12 will still let it chain with itself if you've got a fully trained crew, which is kind of the important cutoff for ion. It is a vicious cycle indeed, isn't it? There was some changes that were made assuming things worked in different ways. Like, I remember at one point I gave the Burst Laser 3 a 5% fire chance, but that's actually impossible. It only works in increments of 10%. I, at one point had, like, the whole beam have, like, a 3% breach chance, just because that seemed like that would be kind of some silly fun, but you can't do less than 10%, and 10% is too much. I mean, most of the changes I've ended up being pretty happy with, because they're pretty well thought out in the first place. I know there's other ones that I've gone back on, though. It's definitely been a lot of work over time, for sure, Panda. And I imagine, like, you know, 2/3 of the people here don't care about it, but we might as well link it up if anyone is unfamiliar with the FTL balance mod. We'll be back to biking it momentarily. I guess, honestly, some of the rollback changes aren't going to be visible here because there was stuff that was added and then fully removed or something. So they won't even really be something that'll trigger memory just by skimming through this, necessarily. Too tired. It's fairly clever. I mean, that kind of depends if I'm gonna also try to stream again before sleeping. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do as far as that sort of stream front goes at this point. Oh, okay, here we go. We at one point had done something. Yeah, we changed the defense drone cost to be higher at one point, and then we changed that back. There you go. The word reverted is a good indicator. So there's been a few things here and there, mostly prices, I think, that I like increased the price and then figured that was actually a little too much. So, I mean, really that's more just like playing with the needle. I don't want to restart my computer